Hello, this is Renee, and welcome to my channel, A Lot to Tell. I did say that I would come in periodically to start giving definitions of codes that are similar to those from a long time ago. One of the other codes is immunity. And the definition of immunity is this. In the United States, state and local government officials generally protected from lawsuits by sovereign immunity, also known as governmental immunity. Let me repeat that. In the United States, state and local government officials are generally protected from lawsuits by sovereign immunity, also known as governmental immunity. This immunity is based on the idea that government cannot be sued without its consent. The Supreme Court has consistently ruled that government officials should have some form of immunity to protect them from excessive interference with their responsibilities and from threats of liability. I have no problem with that. I just wish that these immunities and sovereign immunities would not be preventing us from getting justice. Because, judges can make mistakes just like doctors can. You know the rumors where people have been arrested for more than 30 plus years, and then they find out later on they were innocent and they let them go. I mean, goodness, how in the world are we supposed to survive in this world when we are innocent, but we've been proven guilty? And then 30-something years later, we made a mistake. I know that sometimes people get a little reward from being in prison for so long, but guess what? They cannot get those years back. The years they lost for themselves, the years they lost with their families. So immunity and sovereign immunity is another code. And it does not protect us. It protects the judges and state and government officials. And they said it was the Supreme Court that came up with this. My sister got injured a long time ago before she died recently. And it was on the property of a police station. Even the police officers inside the building came out and assisted my sister, but it was already a young man that lifted her up like she was Cinderella. And her Prince Charming was right there. And guess what? He was not black. And he also put his name on the report as a witness. Should they be responsible for a wheelchair toppling over an incident on your property that made the wheelchair fall over? And when I went to the hospital, I was hurt more than my sister. Why? Because I almost pulled my arm out of my socket to prevent her from falling on that cement. And when I finally put in a complaint, someone called me from the court and told me there was nothing that they could do, even for her medical or me, because they have immunity. We get hurt. We suffer the consequences. We pay for the bills. We get injured. It's not like we went on the property and said, hey, this is the police station. Let's fall down and get hurt. It's like people that sometimes I feel like they be purposely trying to get in a car accident, not knowing if they're going to survive that accident, but they'll do these crazy moves in front of you, hoping to get scraped or scratched. Some girl was in front of me one day when I was in a parking lot, and we both were heading towards the streets. But she kept looking at me through her rearview mirror. And I'm like, why is she looking at me? And I looked at my sister for a split second, turned around. For some reason, her car had backed up close to mine. She gets out the car and she tells me, you hit my car. The impact of hitting a car, you would have felt it. So I said, I know that's not true because I'm looking at my car like an inch or two away from your car. So how did it get bumped? How did it get hurt? Well, I'm going to call the police. I said, go ahead and call the police. While she was calling the police, I was taking pictures. And when I set my phone down, she drove off because she knew she was in the wrong. Some people admit they're wrong and some people don't. Some people don't even admit their mistakes. I know we're all human and we make mistakes. But when it's at the cost of somebody's life, when it's at the cost of somebody being in prison that didn't commit a crime. I know a few people have come in and said, some people need to be in prison because they're guilty. We need to look at our history. There are a lot of people that have been arrested but proven innocent 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 plus years later. It's time out for mistakes. It's these state legislatures and Supreme Courts that's coming up with everything to protect themselves except us. That's what I'm trying to get across. That's what I'm trying to fight right now. I'm still fighting court cases, like I said, with no results because they keep throwing them out. Because in their arms and in their right and in their courtroom, I guess I really don't have a voice. And my evidence wasn't good enough.